Okay, the Slimline Sayings online class, you guys. This is actually really a fun class. We've just finished doing all the projects. We've got I think we have most of the videos shot and the directions written up. It's going to be ready to email out next week. And then, of course, the kits will go out also. I think my kits will be ready this weekend, so they'll be shipping out probably Monday. But it's an amazing class, and I've also got a card for you guys tonight with some tips on how to use that kind of mosaic die, at least how I'm using the mosaic die. And yeah, so in this class, also in the description of this video, it's super fun. If you have the products already, awesome. If you don't, you can purchase those from me. This is a little bit of more of a spendy bundle. It's about 70-ish bucks. But I think it's pretty cool, and you won't be sorry once you get it. So we're going to use the Slim Sayings. I don't normally do this because my area that I stamp on here is not really big. And so my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine like takes up the entire area, but I feel like it was necessary in this particular project just to kind of show you how I went about doing this, because I'm getting some messages that people are struggling with this particular die out of the Slimline Slim Card dies. So I'm going to just share with you my way of working with it. It's working very well for me, so I wanted to share that with you guys. So this is how I have it set up to begin with. My piece of black is 3.5 by 8.5. And I stuck the die on. You can see that it is just very slightly cattywampus, okay? And I did tape it down with some washi tape. I don't know if you'll have to do that or not. I just like to do that. It just makes it easier for me to work with. I'm going to take my second plate. I'm going to put it on. Now, you want to make sure when you put your die on your cutting plate that it is not hanging off the edge, because this die is so long, you really need it to be basically in the middle of your card, in the middle of this plate, okay? And actually mine might be a tiny bit off, so we are going to lift it up and reposition it just a teeny bit. Our Stampin' Cut and Emboss plates are tapered on the ends, so you want to make sure that the edge of your piece isn't going over those tapers. So that's why you just have to barely have it cattywampus, just a tiny bit. Okay, so tape that back down. Add our second cutting plate. Here is my plate 1, plate 2. My plate 2 is getting a little tiny bit warped, so I just flipped it over. That's the only reason why. You want to make sure everything is nice and together. And then I'm just going to push this top plate just ever so slightly above. Okay, so now here's the machine, and like I said, it takes up the entire view, but we're going to see if we can get this to work. I have had... Come on, you. Get in there. Okay. Here it goes. Turn the die upside down and place the paper on top. It cuts beautifully. I'm not going to have any issues with it cutting, Cynthia. That's not the problem. I just wanted to let everybody know that you want to make sure that your die, because sometimes with your dies, if they're not in, they'll still go through, but this is so long and has so much detail on it that you really do need to make sure it's inside the whole thing. So now we can take it off. This, of course, is the little excess piece that we don't need that. And so now what I'm going to do is I only need the outline for this particular card. So I'm just going to gently lift this up. So what I'm trying not to do is I'm trying not to pull too hard on this piece and have it become misshapen, okay? I don't want it to be misshapen at all, because that's going to be difficult to work with and what I want to do with it. So I'm being careful. I am just gently getting all the bits out of here. Sometimes if you just kind of throw it on the ground or on your table, then more bits will come out until they're all out. Get that out. I need a pair of scissors. I'm going to poke out that thing in the corner because I'm not using any of these black pieces. Now you can save them if you want, but I've been playing with this for the majority of the afternoon to try to figure out the best way to adhere this thing. And so I have a lot of these, so I'm just going to throw them all in the trash. Okay, so we have our piece. It's out of the machine. It's right here. bring it back in, sorry. And there it is. So I've tried not to get it misshapen at all because I want to leave it, I want it to be just like this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in 2 of my silicone mats, and I have now flipped this over, and I'm going to add glue to it. Okay. I'm doing it on the silicone mats just because in case, you know, the glue gets underneath or something, it'll get on the mat, not on my work surface. That's the only reason I'm doing that. I'm going to use liquid glue because that's what I like to use. So I'm going to hold this down, and I'm just putting like little dots of glue there. And then I am going to just put little tiny strips of glue, little beads on the edge, and then on some of these little mosaic areas. I don't know what they're called exactly. I'm sure the shape has a name, but I don't know what it is. Okay, so, and you know, you could use the adhesive sheets that we sell, but I find when I have a very detailed die and I am trying to take it out of my machine, sometimes it doesn't want to come out, and sometimes because you're adding an extra layer, depending on the level of detail on the die, it may or may not come out perfectly. So I just opt to use liquid glue, and I'm really not squeezing at all. There's just glue coming out, and so I'm just using the nozzle to kind of spread it around as I need to. Okay, am I still in frame? Yes, I should be. Okay. I'm still trying to be careful and not ruin the shape of this whole thing, because I think that might be what people are complaining about. It is a very delicate piece of paper because everything on it is so thin. So you just want to be gentle with it, is basically the bottom line here. Okay, so I'm going to look back and make sure I have glue, you know, mostly where I want it. If I have any big blobs of glue, I'm going to take my finger and tap them off a little bit, because a big blob of glue can cause a problem. Okay, so now I'm going to pick this up carefully, still not ruining it, trying not to change the shape. And I have a piece of white cardstock here. Okay, this is about 3.5 by 8.5. And I see somebody's asking about the adhesive sheets, and yes, you can use adhesive sheets. You absolutely can. I just sometimes don't like to with these detailed dies, because I just find that they, I can't really explain what it is, but I don't really like it that much. So you can see I just laid that on there. I did not try to finagle it or manipulate it or anything like that. I just laid it down, and now I am doing this. And so obviously my white layer is too much, obviously, but that's fine because I'm just going to cut off the excess now. So depending on what color you want behind your thing, even if I was going to put this on a white card base, I have found that this is the easiest way. That way I don't have to worry about it being straight on my card base. I just throw it on this extra big layer, and then I can just cut off the excess, and then it's perfect. And I will show you some of the other ones that I did today. There is one that is not perfect by any means, and it was because I didn't just lay it on there. I tried to like stick it on there myself. I don't know if that even makes sense, but it did not work so good, and it was on there a little bit cattywampus, and you'll see what I mean when I share with you the disaster of it. So yeah, I probably cut, I don't even know, 6 or 7 of these things today, trying to figure out the best way to go about it. And this was the best way that I found. The easiest way to use it and the easiest way to make it straight. Okay, so there, I have cut off all of the white excess. And I have found that using a large pair of scissors just makes it go faster. So if you guys have a large pair of scissors in your arsenal, that will be a little faster than using paper snips. Okay. So I do have some other ones. So here is our card base is going to be Mango Melody. So look how nice that looks now. It's nice, it's even, it's all that. But I do have one that you can see when I stuck it on the white. Look at how deformed that is. This comes way in right here. This comes up right here. I was not very careful when I laid it on my piece of white. And so it got very misshapen. So I was not happy with that one at all. This one worked out pretty good, I have to say. I didn't have any issues with that one. This one, same. So after I made this one and it was kind of a disaster, I realized what I had done wrong, and I was actually trying too hard to manipulate it. I wasn't being very careful with it. Oh, so that is my tip for using this particular die. Okay. And I get that probably took a little bit of time, but the result is going to be well worth it. So now we have our layer. Perfect. So then I also, when I did do the die cutting of that, I did some die cutting, a little bit of a little piece of mango. I just ran it through one time, and I had like mango at the top, a piece about like this big. I put the daffodil in the middle and then the melon mambo at the bottom. And so there you go. All right. So now I'm just going to like throw some glue in some of these spots. And since I already kind of put this card together earlier, I have a melon mambo one that's not complete, but I'm going to end up covering that up. So that's fine. And then we'll put a daffodil down here. And these little things, they just fall right in, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I get it. They're kind of putsy, but you know, putsy's kind of fun sometimes. And just imagine the delight on the person's face when they open it up. They're like, oh my gosh, this card is amazing. How did you do it? It's a very well-kept secret. No, I'm just kidding. Not a secret at all. Not at all. Okay. There we go. Add another pink one up here. And then after I get my sentiment thing on here, I may do some different things. Who knows? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I have a little partial here of a melon mambo. Whoops, that's not the right. That must be this one here. Yep, there it is. So fun, so fun. All right, so some of you are saying that you enjoy these cards. Yay, I'm glad to hear it. I do as well. I think they're fun. Whoops, I might need to use my Take Your Pick tool. What did I do with it? Here we go. Because some of these little guys are too hard for me to pick up because I don't have any nails. Okay, I think, oh no, I need to add a pink one here. Okay, so I'm going to leave that just like it is for the moment until I get my sentiment done. So my sentiment is also going to be kind of cool, you guys. So we're going to use the Slim Sayings sentiment, and I'm going to use the You Are One of a Kind, and I'm going to use my Stamparatus. So on my Stamparatus, I have one of my fun little 6x6 sheets in there, and my little card or little layer that I'm going to stamp on, this measures 1.5 by 3 1/4. And so all I did was take a tiny bit of adhesive on the back, and then I did stick a couple of my fingers on that to get some of the oils off of my fingers so that it wouldn't stick and tear everything up. Just that it'll stick good enough for me to place it. So you can see I have little arrows pointing to where I want this layer to be, because today when I was designing the card and I had it all figured out, all I did was take my stamp and lay it onto that piece of cardstock and just center it. And so you can see that it's basically centered. But now I see that I have ink on it, so I did not clean it off after I was done making my sample. Okay. There we go. So we need to, I guess they call that spanking. We need to spank that to get the excess water off there. Okay, so we are going to use the same colors. I've got a Daffodil Delight spot, a Melon Mambo spot, and then I don't have a spot for mango, so we will just use mango. So I'm going to start with the middle, and we're going to use the number or the word 1. And so I am going to mask off what's above 1 and what's below 1. Okay, because I don't want these words to get ink twisted. And this is the beauty of the Stamparatus, you guys. I can do this kind of technique. Is that getting on there? Oh, yes. There's some glare on my thing here. And I was like, oh, I don't think I'm even getting ink on there, but I am. So then you got to take the tape off. And then we're just going to press that into place right there. So we have 1. Now you need to put the tape somewhere else. I'm putting it in the trash right now so that I don't get it on my hands anywhere. And so now I'm going to clean off the 1. Just use my chamois there We're going to spank that again because I don't want the water to end up on my stamp. So now I can ink up UR with my little Stampin' Spot here. And I guess I should use a Post-it or something just in case I go over. Whoops. So I'm just going to lay that on here while I'm inking up UR. Okay. And then I'm going to bring in my mango, and I should be able just to get of a kind here at the bottom. I'm just going to kind of put my face down here and ink that up. And then we'll just close that, press that into place, and then we have our 3-toned sentiment. How exciting is that? Okay. Ugh. Move that out of the way because I don't need that anymore. So then I'm going to layer that onto a piece of Melon Mambo. And this piece of Melon Mambo is 1 5/8 by 3 3/8. So it's just a little tiny bit bigger than this layer here. All right, so we'll have just a slight border again. There we go. So fun. I also have some of our black glitter ribbon that I thought might be kind of fun. So I'm going to end up putting this like right here. So I'm going to do some zigzagging, and I am terrible at zigzagging. So we are just going to wing it here. So when I get my zigzag where I want it, I use tape to hold it into place because that's just how I roll, because it's easier for me to do that. And then we will snip that. Okay, we need some dimensionals. So I mean, yeah, that card took a little bit of time. I mean, honestly, how long did it take? 15 minutes, big deal. And the more you work with this die and realize, you know, how you need to be with it, it's very simple. I mean, after I got to like the third one this afternoon, I was like, oh, I'm a pro. Because this is the first day that I have touched this die, this particular one. I've worked with the other dies in there for my slimline class, but I hadn't worked with this one. So there you go. All right, so now all I have to do is add that to the front of the card here. And then of course we sell envelopes to go with these. So you don't even have to worry about envelopes, and our envelopes are really cute. I will grab it here. There we go. Okay, so then this will fit right in here. It's already got a fun detailed envelope. Oh, my ribbon. I got my ribbon a little bit too far over. I may have to move that sentiment strip there. Anyway, it fits right in there. They take one first class stamp. They're just like a business envelope. So yeah, but these are way cuter. The colors are just amazing, aren't they? So remember, I do have a class on this, you guys. Links are in the description of the video if you're interested. This is not one of the cards that's in the class. There are 9 other cards. So this is kind of like a freebie for you. So here are some treats. And then here is our rainbow card. So cute. Here is our slimline card. Remember, I have a class for that. That's in the description of this video if you think you might want to dabble in some slimline cards. And then we have our cute ladybug easel card that we made. And then I have another card that's just a standard card. And then I made another easel card with the Coastal Cabana. So that is everything that we did today. So again, you guys, thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribe to my channel right down here if you wouldn't mind. YouTube will then notify you when I go live, which is every Thursday night, 4 p.m. Pacific, 5 Mountain, 6 Central, and 7 Eastern. And I will be back here next Thursday with some more amazing projects for you guys. So have a fantastic week and stay safe, stay warm, stay happy, all that stuff. And I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.